What's up, interwebs? Welcome to the Storytime Podcast. I'm Tim.
And I'm Adam.
And this is where we go through one of my old projects, a first draft, and I'm saying first draft, and read it. Adam reads a chapter, then we discuss it. And season 2, we're going through my second book I ever wrote, first of what was supposed to be an 8-book series, Marks of Eilira, Strangers from Another World. And we're now going into chapter 12, because this is episode 12.
Yes.
And Adam, I got some good notes here. But before we get that, we got to get to your reading. And before we get to the reading, we got some stuff we got to take care of. And if you go onto enjoy this episode, we'd love it if you would go in and smash that like button and do it as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe, because I got writing content on this channel. That'll be on screen at the end of this, but I don't know why I just said that now. But anyway, also check out Adam's Game Change channel.
Yeah.
Game Change, not play. Game Change channel.
Yeah,
I butchered it. Gameplay channel.
Yeah,
They're terrible.
Go check out ZOP Gaming. We're pretty good at being mediocre at games.
No, they're terrible.
We never explain anything. We are not a tutorial. We're just there playing games together
and showing the world how bad you are.
Except
for the guy who's playing, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's
only
good.
died like twice. He only died once, and he's only lost one mission.
Yeah,
a mission.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's good. All right, check out one of those, and with that out of the way, let's go to the reading, and we'll be back with a discussion.
12. Mystery of the Stones. In the morning, Alcline did not find it hard to wake up Zach and Ryan. It was very hard and uncomfortable, so they got up very easily. Once they were up, they were surprised to see the sun was just about to rise. They did not want to know why they were going to be up so early. They packed up their blankets and sat down by a small fire as Alkaline gave them some food to eat. "Eat quickly," said Alkaline. "We have a long day ahead of us." Zach was not happy to hear that the last few days were long, and his body was not sure how many more days of this he could take. Once they had finished eating, they headed down to the mountain. As they headed down, they started to feel it getting warmer as they got closer to the base of the mountain. It was much cooler on the mountain because of all the wind, but they were happy for the warmth. By the time they got halfway down the mountain, the sun had fully risen, but most of the valley was still in shade since it was not very high in the sky. The whole time, Zach was wondering where they were headed. He wanted to ask, but remembered how Alkaline was in a bad mood when they went to bed. He was not sure if he was still mad. When they got halfway down the mountain, the feeling of not knowing had gotten to him. He needed to know what was going on. "What are the Stones of Time?" asked Zach. "Took you long enough," said Alkaline, looking over at him. "I could tell last night and this morning that you were wondering about something, and I figured it was about the stones. Anyway, the stones are legendary stones that have the power to control time. There are countless myths and stories about the stones and how people use the stones to do good and evil." "So they aren't real?" said Ryan. "Why would you say that?" asked Alkaline. You said there were many myths," said Ryan. "Myths are not true. Everyone knows that they are just stories." "Very true," said Alkaline. "If they're fake," said Zach, "why is Sphere having us collect them? Surely he knows they do not exist." "Yes," said Alkaline. "Being a lord, he would have access to the library of Eilira, with all the knowledge known about Eilira, as well as knowledge that was once believed to be true that, with new evidence, has been shown to be false." "That still does not explain why he would have us go after something he knows is not real," said Ryan. "I know," said Alkaline. "I was just assuring you that Sphere would know that they are not real. Why, he is a lord and is cruel and likes to have fun at other people's expenses. So it could be very well that we have something he wants and knows he can get it whenever he wants. Knowing what he wants to have some fun playing with us before he kills us and takes what he wants." "That's not good," said Zach, stopping. "Then where are we going?" "The other thing is that he truly believes the stones are real," said Alkaline. "Oh, great," said Ryan. So, if he truly believes this, and we know they are not real, he is going to have us go on a wild goose chase. Not to find them, and eventually get killed because we take too long, or he knows, and we find something to do until he is done playing with us and comes to kill us. That is how it goes, said Alkline. Sphere is the most feared of the lords, and this is why. It's impossible to know what he does when he does what he does. As for where we are going, well, we're heading for Zaji. We'll be lucky if we get there by nightfall tomorrow. Zach had his answer, and he did not like the fact that he was found out looking for something Alkline knew was not real, just to know that it ended in their deaths. One thing Zach did not realize was that he did not find out why they were headed for Zajenny. Knowing that he was most likely going to die was enough to distract him. It was not long after they stopped talking about that. They reached the bottom of the mountain. Once there, they stopped and rested for a few minutes. Take the rest while you can, said Alkline. We have to walk the whole way today to get to Zajenny, but we have to go through Gayu again and can get real food. We will stop there for the night and head out earlier than we did today. We only have so much time before Sphere decides to kill us, regardless of what he thinks the stones are real or not. That's good to know, said Zach. So, why are we going to Zajenny? Asked Ryan. You never said why earlier. I didn't, said Alkline. I thought I did. Oh well, we're going there because I have a friend named Dale. He comes from a long line of treasure hunters who have spent generations seeking out every myth and legend on the stones, and through sources who have spent their entire lives studying Eilira's history. People whom he would never mention, but had evidence to back up what they were saying. From all this time, he has solid evidence that the stones are real, and is very close to finding them. Would that make the myths not myths? Asked Zach. No, said Alkline. The myths are still myths because they are stories that use the stones but did not happen. And legends are stories that have been proven true. Okay, said Ryan. DL owes me a favor, continued Alkline. As much as he is not going to like it, he is going to have to give me any information he has on the stones. Once we have this information, we will seek out the stones. Of course, this is all based on it being true that he has a possible location, like I have heard. What if he doesn't? Asked Ryan. Then we will have to take the information he has and seek out the stones from there, said Alkline. So I hope he has a location. After they rested, they headed out for Gayu. They headed back the way they came. Ryan and Zach were surprised that they were able to walk even further before needing to take a break. They walked for most of the morning before they stopped for lunch and rested. After eating, they got up, headed on their way, and stopped for a few breaks and reached Gayu a little before the sun started to set. Once they arrived at Gayu, they entered the city until they reached the inn where they had stayed 2 nights ago. Alkline got 2 rooms for them and headed up to the rooms to drop off their things, and then headed out for food. Once back outside the inn, Alkline pulled out a small bag and handed it to Zach with a piece of paper. This is enough money to get you both, said Alkline. I have some things I need to do, so you are both on your own. The paper is a map of the city. I marked on it the inn so you can find your way back. Keep in mind, we will be leaving early tomorrow. With that, Alkline turned and headed north, following the main road they were on, and vanished within the crowd. Zach and Ryan were surprised that Alkline would leave them alone in a strange world by themselves. Apparently, he had faith in them to be able to walk around and get back to the inn with the map. So they opened the map and found several areas that were circled on the map besides the inn. They found several places to eat and were hungry, but mostly they were sweaty from having 2 layers of clothes. So they headed into the inn and changed out of their normal clothes so they only had the clothes Alkline gave them. They did not get rid of them since they would need clothes to change into once they headed home. Once they had changed, they realized it had been several days since they had taken a bath of any kind. We really need a shower, said Ryan. I don't think they have showers in Eilira, said Zach. True, said Ryan. I'm sure they bathe in some way or everyone would smell. We could ask the innkeeper, said Zach. See if he knows where we could bathe. After finishing taking off their clothes so they only had one set of clothes, they headed downstairs and found the innkeeper. Excuse me, sir, said Ryan. Yes, said the innkeeper. How can I help? Do you know where we could bathe? Asked Zach. Sure, said the innkeeper. There's a bathhouse not far from here. Do you know where Isle Street is? No, said Ryan. We do have a map, said Zach, handing it to the innkeeper. Oh, I see you're tourists, said the innkeeper. I'll mark it for you and draw the quickest path. The innkeeper opened the map and quickly located the bathhouse, drew the quickest path, and then folded up the map and handed it back to Zach. The bathhouse has already been circled, said the innkeeper. I just put the path on the map, as well as circled an unknown tavern with great food that just started up by my sister-in-law. You should stop by and eat there if you're hungry. Thanks, said Zach. The two turned and headed back onto the streets and saw that several lampposts had been lit since they went into the inn. The sun had set and it was quickly getting dark. Zach opened the map and found the path that the innkeeper had marked for them. We're on Street, said Zach. Looks like we need to head along this street for 5 blocks and then turn on to Gitye Street and go 4 blocks, said Ryan. We'll arrive right in front of the bathhouse. Okay. Zach and Ryan headed up Street for 5 blocks and were surprised by how empty the streets were getting, but as the sun set quickly behind them, it made finding the turn they needed to make easier. But they saw all the different types of shops and houses along the street. Once they came to Gitye Street, they turned left and walked another 4 blocks. After a few minutes, they were shocked by how small the bathhouse was. As they were about to go inside, their stomachs rumbled and they realized they needed food before they ate. They decided to head for the tavern, which the innkeeper had suggested since it was only a few blocks down. Once they reached the tavern, they went inside and found a seat, and a girl about their age with bright blonde hair wearing a hot pink dress came over to them. I'm here, said the girl. I'll be your waitress. Can I get you something to drink? Water, said Zach. Same for me, said Ryan. I'll get those for you, said Hira as she handed them menus. Here are menus so you can see what you want. Hira walked back to the bar and got the water and came right back over and set them back on the table. Once she set the drinks on the table, she walked back over to the bar. After a few moments, Zach and Ryan realized they had no clue what any of the stuff on the menu was, so they called Hira to order. What can I get y'all? She asked. What do you recommend? Said Zach. You should try the taito. That's our best soup, and it's our special for the day, so it's just cheaper than on normal days. I'll try that, said Ryan. Same here, said Zach. Great, said Hira. I'll bring your order in a few minutes. Hira walked back over to the bar and did not return for a few minutes with the 2 bowls of soup with steam rising from them. She set them down in front of them and then waited a few minutes before they were able to try it. Not sure what they ordered, Zach placed his spoon into the soup, filled it up, and brought it to his lips and slowly slurped it up. As the soup ran over his taste buds, a thin broth triggered his senses with a pleasurable taste. It was so good that he did not want to waste any and plunged his spoon back into his bowl to get more. Ryan saw this and tried it and had a similar reaction. Within moments of slurping the broth into his mouth, he was getting more of it onto his spoon. Within minutes, both of their soup was gone and they felt full and happy. They were both satisfied, having something to eat as well as something delicious. Hira looked over and saw that they were done. She came over and picked up the bowls and left a piece of parchment on the table before heading back to the bar. This must be the bill, said Zach, picking it up and looking at it. It comes to 8 ye. What is ye? Asked Ryan. Don't know, said Zach. Hira, can you help us? Heir walked over to the table to see what they wanted. All right, this is going to sound odd, said Ryan. This is our first time here in Issa Shore, and we're not sure about the money. What is ye? First off, said Heir, do you have Issa Shore currency? I think, said Zach, pulling out the small pouch and opening it and dumping out several jewels of all different colors. Heir's jaw dropped, seeing all the jewels. Where did you get all this money? Asked Heir. You could easily have gone and eaten at the Johan for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day this week and still had money to pay for a room there as well. Oh, said Ryan. You are lucky you asked me, said Heir. Most people would have lied and taken you for what they thought they could. That's good, thank you, said Zach. Here, let me explain what each one is, said Heir. The light blue ones are worth the least, which is why you have a lot of them. They're called VU. The Yi are the orange ones. 56 VU equals 1 of the Yi. Crimson ones are Kiev. 12 of the Yi equal 1 of the Kiev. And 115 VU equal 1 Kiev. The most valuable is the purple. It takes 642 views to equal 1 of the Aeon. 67 Yi for 1 Aeon, and 24 Kiev equal 1 Aeon. My guess is that you have over 45 Aeon, which is a lot of money. You are carrying around a small fortune that most people around here will make in their entire lives. I'd be careful who you let see how much money you have. Thanks for the help, said Ryan. So our bill is 8 of the orange jewels, right? Right, said Heir. 8 Yi. Here, said Zach, handing her 2 purple jewels. I can't take that, said Heir. That is way too much. No, said Ryan. You have earned it by helping explain the money to us. Just don't let your boss see how much of a tip he gave you. Tip? Said Heir. Yeah, said Zach. You know, extra money for doing a good job. People leave a little on the table for you, a little on the bill, based on how well you did. I've never gotten a tip, as you call it, before, said Heir. Oh, said Zach. Well, never mind. Just keep the money and don't tell anyone we gave it to you. Thanks, said Heir. No, thank you, said Ryan. Heir took the 2 Aeon as well as the 8 Yi back to the bar. She put the Yi in her left hand and the Aeon in her right. When she got to the bar, she placed the Yi on the bar as the bartender took them and turned and put them away. She turned and hid the Aeon. With the bill paid, Zach and Ryan got up and headed for the door. The next stop for them was the bathhouse.
All right, Adam. So, well, there we go. We have that reading.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this chapter is missing something.
Like what?
Like an ending.
It ended.
You know, there should be a reason. Like, there's nothing other than the break to go. Now we know where we're going next. It's the bathhouse.
Yeah.
But there's no real conflict.
There's no need for conflict.
There's no
The conflict is with logic itself.
partly, yeah. But it just felt like there's like this is the first part of a longer chapter that now got broken up apparently.
Okay.
You have something you want to go ahead, Adam. You have the book open, so
I do, and it's just great how Alkline admits that the stones probably aren't real,
Oh, I have.
while
I
also
love-
going, I mean, doesn't mean that they're not real. We need to go find these things.
Hold on, Adam. I got a few things on notes on those ones. Those are like first few ones. First off, this might be a surprise to you, Adam,
Yes.
that the Stones of Time, they control time.
What? No way.
And my thing was, here's what I actually wrote down. So the Stones of Time control time? No! With 6 exclamation points. 6.
6.
I literally wrote
Wow.
next to it in underline so I didn't forget to point out. I wrote 6 exclamation points after that.
I cannot believe it.
And then we have, we'll see. We'll come back to that. But the stones are totally real.
Yeah, but they're not
Sure.
real.
But wait, the stones are real? I'm confused.
Yeah, there's a lot of, they're real,
Maybe.
we think.
But not sure.
but we have myths about them. And Ryan's just like, but doesn't myths are not real?
Hold on. We'll get to that one point in a second.
What?
But before I said the whole, but yeah, they're real. So here's what I wrote before that. So Spear just wants to play hide and go seek. But what happens if he finds you? Oh, right.
Yeah, he's gonna kill you.
But the stones are totally real.
Wait,
they're real?
Yeah, they're real. Kind of.
It took me so long before I replaced the Stones of Time
Yeah.
with a different version of it. And the whole point is not to speed up the time to get the markets to come out. That's what the Clock of Ages in the last version of this version, before I gave up on the project for over 10 years, became. And it's a cool idea. Not nearly as fleshed out as it should have been, but it was still a really cool idea.
I mean,
And at some point, that'll be one of the books we go through. But I'm going to tell you, it's oddly very similar to this one, just with some minor changes. Because I was rushing to get published.
Yeah.
I didn't publish. But here's a little spoiler for future books that never got written, Adam.
oh, okay.
So the Stones of Time control. I guess the sages didn't trust the library of Eilira. So later in the book, I explain this point. Later in the series, you meet a person who's a sage. These are an order of groups who purposely go out and study ruins and learn about myths and everything about there. So apparently, they didn't trust the library of Eliria enough to tell them whether the Stones of Time are real or not.
Okay.
But totally okay about collecting everything Zach needs to complete his destiny. I mean, if he's the king.
His destiny. He is destined. Of course, the main character, who's kind of a jackass, would do that.
By the way, I'm so glad. Adam, I'm about to turn 43.
Okay.
And I've finally just learned that myths are totally false, but legends are true. I've been thinking they're both false this entire time. My own novel that I wrote put me right.
Okay.
Brain.
This is a moment where even I have to be like, okay, I mean, we have, through our own history on our wonderful planet, realized that a lot of myths and legends have a nugget of truth in them, that something happened that caused this story to be told over and over and over again. And now today's story of what that original event was is completely different.
It's more legend than myth.
Right.
But same thing, because you have myth of like the Greek gods.
Yes.
Okay, what was the truth about there?
I don't know.
But we also have legends of Atlantis.
Yes.
That we don't know if they're true.
Right.
Well, not the fantasized version of them,
No.
but the potential of a more far highly advanced civilization for the time
yes.
existing, potentially. But there's still nowhere near enough evidence to prove they were that
Oh yeah,
advanced.
that flying cars or anything like that. But
Well,
no.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about far more advanced than the Egyptians were at the time. But again, you never know. If you really had your entire island sank before the ocean, then potentially you should have found stuff on the bottom of the ocean by now. But at the same time, yeah, it could make it harder to prove that.
Right.
But I read that and like, what was I thinking? Wow. Well, I'm lost for words on that one. But yeah,
You needed some logic in here.
apparently so.
And
Because I did not flesh out those
It's
stories.
Ryan logic instead.
Yeah, pretty much. No, that's Alkaline logic. I think Alkaline is the one who said that.
No, it's Ryan.
Oh, Ryan?
He said there were many myths. Myths are not true. Everyone knows that. They're just stories.
Oh,
And Alkine's just like, very true, little dude. I love the fact that Alkaline is my version of a bad Keanu Reeves.
So, okay, before I do my next one, let's just pick up the story from the beginning and go through.
Okay.
So we pick up the next morning. They pack up, they eat, and they start heading down the mountain. We get Zach finally asking about the stones in time, and we get those exchanges about myths and everything.
Yeah.
And we're going to Zinji.
Zygenji.
Zyzenji?
Sorry, Zygenny.
Jenny? Yeah, I swear to God, I came up with these names and never figured out how to pronounce them.
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely loved trying to pronounce all of these
Fantasy,
Yeah.
but not actual fantasy names. Oh, I bet you love the coin names, the currency names, but we'll get to those in a second. We'll get to there. But we get that. We get the explanation about, Alclin's friend who owes him a favor, Deliel.
Yeah.
Deliel?
Deal. I don't know how I pronounced it.
But I mean, you just read it, Adam. How do you not know how you just pronounce it? Did you?
Okay,
Did you recorded it?
No. I want to explain because off mic, we talked about Dale.
Yeah, I was confusing him with someone else
Yeah,
who comes up later in the book.
yeah.
That's why I was saying he is a woman. I was thinking of someone else who shows up
Yeah,
who
but
starts with a D. Not for a few more books. Like we're talking about like 2 or 3 chapters.
hold on.
I think it's when we get to the mines.
Yes, okay. I now I see where you
Yeah.
got the confusion.
Yeah, I forgot about Alclin's friend.
Yep.
And he's only kind of important to the plot of the story.
You know.
But but yeah, so yeah, I forgot about that. We gotta learn about him. All in favor, a little bit of a background on him.
Yeah.
And
then everyone just goes to the town.
Yep, we go to
City. Sorry, it's a city.
Go to the Gayu. So and then what is the first thing that Alclin does? Once they get to the inn, he's like, "Here's some money.
Here's a map.
Bye. Here's a map.
Here's
Bye."
some money. Here's a map. You guys go explore. Have fun. I got stuff to do.
So I'm just gonna say this: Alclin's being very smart, and yes, I'm saying smart, not smart, smart about giving Zach a bag of money with no explanation
Zero
on how
Zero
it works,
explanation.
on currency works here, and is jetting.
He's just like, peace. I'm out.
And there's a reason why, Adam. I have a theory about this. Why he's jetting
Oh,
so
yeah?
quickly. Let's see. Hold on. I gotta find it in my notes. Oh yeah. Okay. So, the bathhouse is already circled. That's Alclin being not so subtle on showing how ripe they are.
Guys.
There's no wonder why he jetted. He's like, I'm done smelling you two.
Ugh. Seriously. I can smell you from 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Upwind.
Upwind, not down. Upwind. It's like
Downwind, it's a good 30 to 40 feet, okay?
Alclin, who was the one who told them to put the clothes over their other clothes?
Yeah.
You.
You know, up on the mountain, it made sense.
Yeah,
the extra layers.
Yeah. But like, but yeah, Adam, it took them 2 days to realize, they were wearing 2 layers of clothes for 2 days.
Yep.
Those guys, Ryan and Zach, are just so ripe right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I said, they're so ripe. Alclin had to get out of there. He's like, no.
And it's been like, what, 4 days now total?
The inn there.
Yeah.
They came
3.
in 3 days.
3 days.
They've only had those clothes on since they.
So, if both boys had taken a shower before going to school, it has been 3-4 days
Yep.
since they take a shower.
Yep.
They're teenage boys. I don't trust that they took a shower before going to school that day, so it might be a good 6 days since they took a shower.
Well, since Zach is based off me, and I was one who showered every day, even as a teenager.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you have a more of a point. Probably based on the characterization of Zach, I see him being someone who does shower regularly every day. Probably not.
No.
Ryan, yeah, it's probably been 6 days.
Yeah, it's been a while for that boy.
That fits about Ryan.
He's like, whatever.
Deodorant, man.
I don't really smell it.
It's like, it's deodorant, man. But
Sometimes a baby wipe. Just wipe myself down a little bit.
dude wipes,
good.
man. Dude wipes.
That's
Not
what
just
they're
good for
for.
the crack.
They're good for every spot.
But yeah, so yeah, and they don't. Even if they had deodorant when they left on, they haven't had it for a few days.
Oh, no, it wears off.
Yep.
It does.
And so there. So that's not so subtle. Okay, so mark this down, Adam.
Yes.
It's happened.
What has happened?
We're not just getting. We've now had a Ryan logic.
Yeah.
We've had a Zach logic.
Absolutely.
We're getting a new logic here.
What's the new logic?
The Tim logic.
Why?
The Tim logic.
What is the Tim logic?
You want me to read the Tim logic to you?
Please.
Ryan is saying the directions in his dialogue, only to repeat that in narration. Zach, Tim logic.
Yeah.
I literally have Ryan say the directions on there, and then immediately into the narration below is like, so they went these many blocks, turned down, went this many blocks.
Yeah. Looks like we need to head along the street for 5 blocks.
Yep.
And then turn on to
Did you like this?
Get Ye.
Yeah, you like the street names?
And go 4 blocks.
When I was reading it last night to put my notes, I read the street names. I'm like, oh, I forgot about the street names. Adam is probably wanting to kill me right now.
Yep. I got my revenge though.
Okay.
I got my revenge.
Yeah, giving all these guys hicks.
Both the innkeeper and his sister-in-law
All being hicks.
are very much Southern.
Hicks.
They're not Hicks.
Rednecks.
Good sir. No. They are Southern.
Hicks.
Small town.
Rednecks.
Look, it's his sister-in-law. She may also have been a second cousin at the same time.
Oh, and by the way, because it's been possibly 6 days for Ryan, maybe 4 days for Zach. When they went to get food, which honestly, you're about to go to the bathhouse, your stomach rumbles. Yeah, you're thinking food as a teenager.
I'm gonna get food first.
How did you pronounce the waitress?
Here.
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 Here. We're just gonna say here.
No, I didn't want to do that
I know.
because then it's just you have here was here
I
doing
know.
here.
I know. Here. Should have been like here. My name is. Oh God, you guys right. Go no bathhouse now. Come back afterwards.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's a slightly medieval town.
I know.
So there would be, like, in my head, there is a lot of Japanese influence in this town.
I wonder, maybe the bathhouse had something to do with that?
Yeah, usually.
We'll get there next chapter.
But like, at the same time, I was like, no, that might be the architectural influence, but everyone in this town is a little special up there. Mm-hmm. They live in Southern Azador. Southern. And it will rise again one day.
And, I mean, come on. Like, you know, she should have totally been like, no, bathhouse. No, you're not an option. You're going to the bathhouse.
No, but being explained the money first, before going to the bathhouse, it is a much smarter.
Oh, yeah.
Also, you give us this wonderful woman who is like, oh, honey, let me take care of you.
Yeah.
Like, for me, the moment that it was just like, he was just like, ma'am, I have no idea what this currency is. And she was just like, okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Zach
you
logic
sweet
right here.
summer child, let me help you.
Yeah, that's my Zach logic for this. I didn't think we were gonna have one. Then we got here. I'm like, no, that's a Zach logic. Not the best.
No.
but it is a Zach logic. Wait, there's more than one currency. I think I have your currency. Dump money out on table in front of everyone.
Well, for me, it was already established that basically the place was empty except for these two boys.
You know, I described nothing else about the restaurant.
Yeah, nobody else was there. Now, you didn't even say a busy restaurant.
Nope,
Or
just the
a
restaurant.
mild. There were a smattering of people there.
For some reason, when I was reading it, I was kind of picturing it as like a small cafe.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why. Nothing in the text gives me that.
For me, I see a counter against the from the door, far wall. That's where you order, and maybe, you know, that's the bar as well. Probably about 4 tables.
Yeah,
There is not much here.
I picture it as a small cafe, and everything. And also, wait, I had another realization. I'm almost about to be 43, Adam, and I took a
said
book
that before.
And I took a book that I wrote to make me learn that specials, when they're special, are cheaper than when they're normal. What?
I'll be real honest
Never
with you.
knew that.
That's not even how specials work.
I know.
Specials literally are, hey guys, we need to get rid of this stuff. All right, let's put it on the special menu.
Sometimes they are specials because it's something new and they want to get it out there.
They're like,
And
hey,
it's
check this out.
And it's going to be cheaper to try it. But yeah, I was going to put something here about tipping, but I just could not think of how to talk about the tipping. But you have a good point about tipping.
She was surprised by tipping.
Yeah.
In an industry that here in the U.S. is very tipping heavy.
Yeah. But in my mind frame behind that was it's more of a medieval.
Yeah.
So that's not a concept they understand. Though it probably was. It's just not as common.
It probably wasn't super common.
Maybe in like more.
But every once in a while being like,
class.
hey, look, here's a little extra for you.
Maybe on the upper class side, maybe it could have been something.
Oh, yes.
But that's an interesting research topic to actually go look about. Tipping, the history of tipping.
Oh, maybe.
Not cow tipping.
Oh, but cow tipping is so much fun.
I know. But I put that in. But I just could not come up with this thing like, I want to do something similar like that. Wait, that's how you tip? But I was like, no, I just did that with the whole special thing. And I did that with the whole, what was the other one?
Yeah, that thing.
The myths?
Yeah, myths and legends.
The myths and legends thing. That's twice.
Myths are unproven, and legends are proven.
In storytelling, that the cycle of 3 would pay off, but too close to each other, and not good enough for one to do it again. Like if we had a longer chapter that came at near the more things and then say it, okay, but that's literally the end of the chapter with no real climax.
I like the fact that the boys had soup for dinner.
I know,
and just decimated it. They were like, "Oh my god, this is good."
Apparently, there's enough in there for it to be filling.
I mean, because I have a very Japanese Asian look to this place already.
You're thinking of ramen, aren't you?
They had ramen.
That's the same thing I was thinking too. I was thinking like, I should have said like more like ramen and described it because that's what I was thinking of.
The noodle soup with some extra stuff
now,
in
Adam,
there.
I have to because let's just be upfront. You pre-recorded this chapter
What?
before.
No way.
I know. For a change, we're actually going behind the scenes live on mic.
Oh, pulling the curtain back here. You're trying to ruin the business.
I'm ruining the business by exposing the secrets behind everything. And you also pre-recorded chapter 13.
Yes.
How much did reading chapter 13 color your opinion of this one? Somewhat. On the Japanese themes, at least.
A little bit.
I figured.
A little bit, but I kind of had that mix of Tudor and Japanese, Japanese country. Yeah. Like small town look. I had both of those kind of going at the same time.
When I come back to this project, I gotta flesh out my world. And one of the things I just started putting a pamphlet together because I wanted to work out fleshing out the magic system that we've only seen pieces of here. More, but I mentioned on the packet of how I'm gonna flesh out the world, so it's not just 7 seeds, or tribes, and that's very generic. And yes, I try to make sure that everyone's like, basically certain ones were the dwarves, but not dwarves.
Right.
Certain ones were the elves,
but not the elves.
And really didn't flesh anything out beyond that. This was my first series and world building experiment. But for what I came up with for my first, I'm still impressed with. But at the same time, flesh it out and be more conscious of that, which would be really hard with trying to do Asian or something like inspired themes when I really have to have Earth part of the world.
Yeah.
A part of this mythos. But yeah. All right, Adam, so overall thoughts on this chapter.
I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. It was a pretty decent exposition dump. You got the boys learning about the world that they're in.
Yep.
So in a way, the audience learns a little bit more about this world beyond just like they were going for a hike. Because at first I was like, oh, sweet. Generic Middle Earth. They're going for a hike to a mountain and they're walking. I thought that was pretty much going to be the entire thing. And then we came back to town and we actually decided to have a moment in town between the boys. It would have been better if Alkaline had actually come with them. That way they would be learning things.
But the whole point behind this, especially with YA, is when adults are around, it's hard to have conflict.
Right.
So you have to
find a way to make the
or become if there is conflict, it's very easy for the adult to take over and mitigate it. Even if it's a running away scene or something like that, and fighting off, you have to find ways to go about that. And this was the typical YA.
Yeah. Hey, go out in town and go get yourself some food and maybe some clothes, and we'll see you back at the hotel. And then they have an adventure while they're out there.
But it's one of those things which is very interesting. It was a good chapter. We get to learn about it, but it's not a complete chapter.
No.
Because it's missing the next chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, the next chapter would have been a better addition.
Yeah, they would have. And you could cut halfway through that chapter where the conflict is. When we get to that chapter, where the conflict right before the conflict begins.
Maybe.
I thought,
no,
it is.
No, I feel that it.
I think I've had so many different versions of that scene in my head right now.
Don't worry.
I can't remember for the life of me what conflict actually happens in there because I've rewritten that bathhouse scene so many different times in so many different ways, trying to remember which one's in the original and which one was the more got added later on. I know like outcome very similar, but I just cannot remember.
That's okay.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, there could be a way about it. But I'll leave it at that. But I'm just gonna say this, Adam.
Yes.
Because it'll be a little tease for the next chapter, and any listeners can go and look this up if they want to. The inspiration for the bathhouse comes from Spirited Away.
Okay. Yeah.
That whole how the baths work.
Yep.
The upper the private ones at least.
Right.
Come right out. I ripped right out of Spirited Away.
I mean, that's kind of what I see as well.
Yeah, I ripped it right from there because I was like, I want to do a bath, but how do I do just a bathhouse?
The wooden tub, which is slats, vertical slats, held together by rope.
I don't think I hit that.
Oh yeah, that's in my head.
I think that was how I pictured it too. And later ones, I think I do different versions of it. But I think in this one, it is that.
But I do like the fact that it's a very specific amount of water.
Yep.
When you pull for it.
Yep.
No matter what.
And it pours. It's hot. You can stand right under it. Like the scene in Spirit Away when that spirit comes in and sets all this gunk on it and just stands in and just pours and it all flows out over it. That's how I got the scene. We'll get to there. One of the scenes in there. But yeah, ripped it right from there.
Nice.
And so if you want to go see it, go look up the bathhouse from Spirit Away, and you'll get what I'm talking about. Or just go watch the Spirit Away.
Yeah, go watch it.
I'm not big into the Studio Ghibli films. Just they're good. I never deny the artwork or anything and the skill. It's just not my take.
No.
But I'll admit, I did like obviously Spirit Away affected me years after I watched it because I really ripped something from it for inspiration for a story. but it's not something I go out of my way to go and watch.
Okay.
Just not my
Yeah.
preference, but maybe my preference has changed. I should go back and watch some of them now, but who knows. But go check that out for our preview for the next one, Chapter 13, The Bathhouse.
Yeah. Where they go to the bathhouse.
AKA Adam and Zach, Ryan and Zach don't no longer get stinky.
Yes, they finally clean up.
But okay, so before we wrap this up, how would you improve this chapter?
I really wouldn't improve it. Like it's pretty decent. It's got a good flow already.
The biggest thing was just merge this with chapter 13.
Okay.
And find a way to condense on it and not both sides of the story.
No need.
A little bit enough so it's not too long.
10-page chapter works for me, bro.
More than 10 pages if you combine those two.
Not really.
I think it's like 13, 14.
Oh,
Because-
let me grab
Because this one is about 9, 7 or 8, maybe 9 at the most. And I think the next chapter was about the same length, so it's about 15 pages. But yeah, that's my biggest thing would be merge those two together so we have some conflict in there.
14.
Okay. Find a way to merge them and then just cut it down. If you can get it down to about 10 pages, you could. There's enough in there. The trip to Gaia, we don't need much more than what we got
Right.
when we get the dialogue stuff. But
The exposition while walking.
yeah, we can tie it down and really get back in explanation of it. So in the time, Gaia, food, bathhouse, and the focus is on the bathhouse.
Yes.
That's and maybe any tweaks I just would decide to make to that chapter after I read that one. We go through that one. But we'll save that for next episode. So,
Goddamn right.
anything else you want to add to this?
No.
All right. Well, what did you think of this chapter? Do you agree that it feels like off is missing something?
Yeah, it's missing more Highlander.
I was waiting for you to say that after I asked that. You forgot about it, and you're like, "Oh, wait, I gotta bring in the
I don't know
Highlander."
what you're talking about.
You totally forgot about saying more Highlander.
No, never do. I was biding my time.
Sure, you were.
A Highlander fan never forgets to add more Highlander.
Whatever.
It just
Adam.
depends on when they want to say it.
Sure, Adam. But let us know in the comment section what you think is missing. If it is missing, how you would go about it. Let us know down there. Since you made it here, we're assuming you enjoyed this episode. So why not go and smash that like button and do it as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
Subscribe and ring the bell. Because I got writing content on this channel. And don't forget to go check out Adam's channel if you're interested in some gameplay.
ZOP Gaming.
Yeah, they're terrible. But check out something. My stuff's on the screen now. Pick something. We'll see you there. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.